Hello, everyone out there in social media land. This is your girl, Jewel Diamond Taylor, with my series since 2009 called Inner Views. And I am so excited today as we celebrate Women's History Month right in my own midst, right in my own neighborhood. Right in my own tribe called Women on the Grow is an amazing woman that I introduced to you today, Dwan Smith Fortier. Welcome, welcome, my sister. Did I say it right?
You said it right. Thank you. Thank you. I am so excited about today. And look at all the green that's around us, the green
I
in
know.
your home. That's growth. Yeah, we're growing.
That's it. That's it. And you look so radiant. I love your hair, and it is representative of how you have made history. I'm not going to read your bio because I want you to share in your own fashion um, the legacy, the landmark, the trailblazing that you've done in the entertainment industry. And then we're going to shift to this present day, what you're doing and how you are showing up every day in your life, in your marriage, and with your family.
Yeah. Oh,
Could you
that's so
uh, share with those? They may not know about the history of the
exciting.
fro,
Yeah.
and yeah, share with us.
Yeah. My people may know me or remember me from the movie Sparkle. I played Dolores, the middle sister, the one who left early.
The
And
middle sister,
she
Sparkle.
middle sister, and she left because she was going on a mission. And
Mm,
her mission, because she said to her mother, she said, "Mom, it's more out there than this."
yes.
And so my life has kind of flowed like that. What Dolores did, because Dolores left, they didn't give her a storyline. But as I wrote her lifeline, I knew that she went south. She went to school. She went and
Mm,
she joined the movement. And so that was part, this is all part of that period, that this was when Black was beautiful. When I started wearing my afro, it wasn't about a trend. It
mm,
wasn't about a look. It was about a movement.
that's
It was
right.
about internalizing and externalizing the internal changes. It was a sign of those internal changes that we were going through individually and as a people. It was the Black I'm proud, and I meant it, because when you
Uh-huh.
walked out with your hair like this, and people were, even young people were going, people were, what is
Yes.
that?
Yes.
But it was an energy. It was an
It was groundbreaking.
it was, and I was so excited. I didn't know it. I was just being it. Did not know it didn't have a label at that time,
Mhm.
except to say I'm Black and I'm proud and I'm going to be my natural self. My hair is, I'm beautiful. My hair is beautiful. My
Uh-huh.
people are beautiful. My
Yeah.
culture is beautiful. The change. And the interesting thing to me, Joy, at that time, everybody, not everybody, but people were into being creative. Somebody was on the corner playing the drums. Other
Mm.
people were writing poetry. They were writing songs. They were Sanchez and all the people that were writing songs about
Yeah.
the revolution will not be telecast. Gil
Yeah.
Scott Heron, my homeboy. I mean,
Bill Blackburn.
there was an energy about this look. James Brown, I'm Black, and it was an energy. So when
Yes.
I came into the industry, a friend of mine, Hal Williams, the guy that played Marla Gibbs' husband on 222.
Mhm.
Anyway, Hal and I got to be friends, and we did a play in Hollywood. It was called a Reader's Theater. And then he was going to see an agent, which I knew nothing about. And so he said, I'm going to see this agent, Herb Tanner. You want to go with me?
Ah,
Yeah, okay. So I went with him and met Herb Tannen. And Herb signed me and didn't sign Hal right away.
mm, mm.
And we laugh about that. He signed me because I had a look. I was
Okay.
wearing a little natural
What
with
did he sign
little,
you for?
he signed me, it was a commercial agent.
Oh,
Herb
commercial.
Tannen. Yeah. So he signed me because I had the little pearl earrings and I was wearing the little neat natural afro. And that was the look that they were trying to break in at that point.
Mhm.
And as God would have it, I was at the right place at the right point in time with the right look.
But
And
let me go back to Sparkle a minute for those that don't know the timeline.
then,
When was that movie made? What year was that you did Sparkle?
85.
1985.
Yes,
Okay. All
1985.
right.
And this was prior to that. This was
Mhm.
all prior to Sparkle. And so that year, just based on a look, I did something like 13 commercials in a row. I was the
Oh,
first African American to wear a fro with a lot of the major advertisers, major brands like Pepsi Cola, Sure Deodorant. I was the Afro Sheen Fox.
come on. Mhm.
Yeah, that was when Afro Sheen first decided Soul Train first decided to do national commercials. And that was the Don Cornelius and then, well, Afro Sheen was their first major national commercial.
It
And
was
Afro
Afro.
Sheen Fox, and I did Sun-Kissed Oranges and Hush Puppies, and I did the Crest toothpaste, Dial soap, TJ. I outlasted some of the people I did. TJ Swan Wine is not with us anymore.
Okay.
CNC suntan lotion, which I did with Flip Wilson, was my first
Oh,
commercial. Yeah,
oh, I love Flip Wilson. Oh
I
my
loved it.
goodness.
So that,
Oh,
and then so from the commercials, I ended up going and segueing into doing some TV shows. So, and some of your fans weren't even born when I was doing these shows.
what were some of those shows? What were some of those shows?
Sanford and Son. I
See,
did
that
one
was
that, yeah. There's one that's rerunning a lot right now called The 3 Degrees. And it was a singing group, 3 girls, Black
yes.
girls. They were very well. So I did Room 222. I did Adam 12. I did Police Story. And as a matter of fact, and I did Owen Marshall, and I did a movie of the week called A Very Missing Person,
Hmm.
and another one called A Couple Takes a Wife. So, which I need to do, take a wife. I need to help out with this caregiving sometimes.
So, I mean, you definitely are part of our Black women's history because you broke ground, commercials, movie, TV. And are you still acting today?
I am. I'm still. We go with our boots on. I'm trying to be the Vanna White Brown. See, so I'll be around for a while. But yes, and it's an interesting part of my life. I had to learn to, because it is my passion. I had to learn to separate and put in place my passion. As you know, my husband had a major stroke a number of years back. And
Mhm.
my husband, Nate Fortier, is a retired LA County firefighter paramedic. And
Mm.
he did that for 23 years before having a stroke. And after he had the stroke, then I had to learn to switch lanes or
Oh,
manage or pocket these things that are my passion of performing and my passion for taking care of him.
yes. And now that you mentioned that, because that's the first time I heard of his career, 6 degrees of separation. I'm sure there are many people that we know because I know many people that are retired firemen, retired law enforcement, and
Mhm.
yeah. So we salute him for his service.
Yeah, he
And
wrote the title cut on Frida Payne's last album at Columbia, a song called Red Hot. So he also did music and composed, and that's one of the ways he caught me because he was so sweet, and
oh,
you know he played the piano and he could sing. And one of the background for our marriage is a movie called song he wrote called Just Like in the Movies. It's just
I
like in
listened
the
to
movie.
that. I listened to that. And I was so glad that you gave me the link because we kind of segue into what you're doing now. I did watch your documentary on what it is to be a caregiver. and how your life shifted. And there's so many people, you know, in my life that I know that are caregivers, and to see the exhaustion, the financial drain, uh, how they feel isolated, how they feel overwhelmed, and yet they're carrying this tremendous stress. And sometimes there's not enough family support or community
Right.
support.
Yeah.
And so I want you to speak to those right now that have shifted in their careers and now they are a caregiver. What
Yeah.
kind of hope could you give them? Are there any strategies that you would give them? Are there any stories you could share with us about what it's like to be a caregiver for your spouse?
Yeah. The way I ended up realizing the position I was in was
Mhm.
not after the stroke, not immediately, none of that. I was my manager called me for an audition. So I was driving into Hollywood to do, to go to the place and do the audition. I'm driving down the freeway, and Jewel, I'm so stressed. I'm like this. I'm like,
Mm.
because I had to get back. My husband had a speech therapy appointment session. He couldn't miss that. With the
Mm.
stroke, we had to go to all of his appointments. We had to make his physical therapy, and occupational therapy, and speech therapy. He had to be there. We couldn't miss
Mm.
that. So when I'm driving, knowing that I'm in between these spaces, here he's got to be, and here I'm going. And
Yes.
I understood, you know how old folks should say, teach a child the way he should go, he'll not part. I understood the scripture that says cannot serve two masters at one
Oh,
time.
yes.
That's when that made sense to me. Because
Because
I'm
your
driving,
energy was being split.
yes, I was
Yeah.
being torn apart in my
Yes.
whole body. And so as I drove in, and then I said to myself, this will be the last time that I do this. I will
Mm.
not do this. He comes first.
You
It's
made
just,
a choice. You made a choice.
yes,
Amen.
because in my one woman show, which I've written about, I have, it's called Jump From My Trunk, a caregiver story. I have a piece in there that says, taking care of my husband is my mother taking care of my father, who was
Mm.
her mother taking care of my grandfather. It's the triangle. It was,
Mm.
and so at that moment, that triangle fell into place. And
Mm.
that was it. And I'll say caregiving, when I look at that word, you've taught me, Jewel, to look
Mm.
at words in a different way, to
Yes,
break
yes.
them down,
Right.
to take them apart. When I look at care giving,
Yeah.
the care is in the front,
Ha!
the giving is in the back. Does that mean the giving is pushing the care from behind? Where is it?
Mm.
And that's
Mm.
what I think every caregiver has to come to understand in their own interpretation of
Now,
this.
what do you do for your stress relief? I mean, you're taking care 24 hours a day. You're doing it on purpose, with intention, with love, with care. But what are you doing for Dwan? Because I often say, you know, as you know, in my position, I get distress calls every day. I'm responding to people in different types of adversities. And when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I see are text messages. Somebody died. Somebody's in the hospital. This is
Yeah,
happening. And I
yeah,
put the phone down and then I say, I got to take care of me first. And I do my morning rituals
yes,
before I respond because I cannot help somebody keep their light on if I'm sitting in the dark.
yes,
I'm
yes.
not going to pay your light bill and my light bill. I
Yeah,
gotta, I gotta make sure that I'm in the light, that I am centered
yes.
before I start giving. So, what do you do to stay in the light so that you are giving to your husband without being stressed? What are some of the simple things that you do for yourself?
I came to study
Air
with the
giving for
ladies on
yourself.
the grow. I came to study with the ladies on the grow.
All the women on the grow. You're
I
part of
look
our
at you
Sunday.
on Sundays. That's a great part of my stress relief. Beginning to understand all of the things that are working me and that
Mhm.
I'm working or that I'm not working and missing. And so I do that. And I also I have a lot of, I'm like you, I have a lot of I read good things and I listen. I surround myself in a world that will massage me,
Okay.
with the reading and the writing. And physically, I'm blessed because my husband is a nice man.
Okay.
I have
That makes a
women.
difference.
It does. I have women friends who've had husbands that were in bad, and they were not nice people.
Yeah, they
So
sometimes they're cantankerous, they're rebellious, they've
and
got
they're
dementia,
hurting. They're
and they're
hurting.
yeah, and they're angry at the
That
world.
yes, yes.
Yeah, so that's
So I
beautiful.
do that, and I spend a lot of time with my grandchildren.
I
They're
was going to bring that up because I want you to talk about your granny camp.
Grammy camp. Yeah, we call it Grammy camp. Every summer I get them together for a couple of weeks when they're out of school, and they just spend time with me, just the cousins bonding.
How many?
Well, I have 11, but not all 11 are here at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, we have 11. My oldest is in the Marines, actually. KJ, he's in the Marines. And we're proud of him. And just being involved with the kids gives me
Oh, gives
a
life.
sense of a life, yeah. And then my husband and I exercise, of course. We walk when we're in a good track. Sometimes we in a good phase and we walk.
Okay.
And I don't know, Joy. I think just to be able to do things like this, learning Zoom, things that keep your mind going and
That's good.
take your mind off of, and the technology, all of that is good. And then making everything a joyous event.
Yes.
My description for myself is that when God created me, he dipped me in a vat of joy and
I
I
love that.
effervesce.
I love that. And you always bring the joy. You always bring the smile. You always bring the style. You always bring the colors. You always bring your total presence to whatever you're doing. And so I know that sometimes you'll say, Jewel, I can't be there today. And I honor that because you have the wherewithal to know what's the priority. I can't stretch myself thin.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know that I can't, you say, I can't come to every activity. And we respect that. We're not trying to make everybody come to everything. We
yeah,
all have a life.
yeah.
And I think it's so wise of you to know, like, no, I can't leave him right now. I would love to go. And some women struggle with that. And once you make the decision where your priorities are, it gets easy to make those decisions. And I just really applaud you for that, that you continually working on yourself, you're investing in yourself, you're learning new things, you're keeping the brain stimulated. That is so important as we mature women. We've got to stay, keep our brain stimulated. We've got to stay active and engaged in other people's life. And you always show up as much as you can for Women on the Grow, and we love you. And I wanted everybody just to know your history, that you were a groundbreaking actress, with the hair and with the style and the savviness. And it's just a joy to know you. And I thank you for just taking some time that we could have an interview and get to know Dwan Smith Fortier, actress, wife, grandmother, woman of God, praying woman. Oh,
Wow.
you're just a joy to know. What would you say as a closing remark to the world that will watch this? What would you say as a woman, as an actress, as a wife, as a grandmother? What is the message? If you had one message, what would that be?
Um, being Thanking God for being able to live this long
Mm,
and for having a vision of a legacy that I want to create. I want that legacy of wearing this hair first,
uh-huh,
being the
uh-huh.
one that broke the hair ceiling. I
Huh,
want that to
I like
the
that. Hair
ladies
season.
ladies discover what it is your legacy. What is the meaning? What's pulling you?
Mhm,
Whatever that is that's pulling you, study it. Like you say, Jules, study it, get to
mhm.
know it inside out. Find mentors. That's what you taught us. Find people to look up to. And I
Yes.
don't care how old you are. I'm going to share this with you. I ain't going to never get old.
Come
I
on.
ain't
It's a
gonna
mindset.
never get old. I
It's a
got love
mindset.
in my heart and joy in my soul, faith in tomorrow and hope for today. That's what makes me feel this way. I ain't gonna never get old.
I love it. I love it. That is a mindset. And I'm just loving you in that green, honey, because as you can see, that's my color. I want to bring
Yes.
the nature inside. I want to bring life inside of my home. So
Yes.
I love the green that you're wearing because, you know, that's our logo for Women on the Grow. It's in green because we want to grow. We want to reach for the stars and reach for the
Yes.
atmosphere. And
Atmosphere.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I honor you. I love you, my sister. You have
Thank
been
you for
such
having
a
me.
jewel in our tribe. And I hope my listeners will go out and revisit Sparkle and say, there's Dwan, there she is.
And
And
look at
just,
my YouTube, Dwan Smith, my new normal on YouTube.
okay, on YouTube, just put in your name, Dwan, Dwan Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And there they will find, what will they find?
They will find a couple of my videos that I did, my new normal, which is about
Okay.
being a caregiver.
All right.
And I did those with Richard Lawson with his studio work.
Okay. Okay. And you know what? Even though I was about to close, something popped in my head. You've been around a lot of actresses. And in the entertainment community, what have you seen a lot of sisters helping each other, mentoring each other, bonding? Can we dispel the myth that we don't care for each other, we don't help each other, we got this crab mentality? What did you experience in the entertainment?
A few months ago, a young lady called Patricia Cuffy Jones called me. She's a
Mm-hmm,
young filmmaker,
mm-hmm,
incredible filmmaker. And I got an audition with her, and they just called me in to do a show. When I
mm-hmm.
saw this young lady with a crew, her crew was predominantly Black. She's writing, producing, directing. And then
Mm.
when you look at Black TV, there's a streaming channel. There are some people, these young people are not playing.
Uh,
They are not, they are sharing. They're
okay.
writing projects and casting one another in them. They're picking the crews, they're editors, they're cinematographers.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it is, and when you look at the historic Black colleges and universities, you look at 100 Black men, you look, all that stuff about we don't work together, we're crabs, that's not true.
Yeah, we have to
Come
debunk
on.
that myth. Yes,
Yes,
yes.
come on. Why would we be where we are today and having our children graduate like they are and being entrepreneurs and in the entertainment business? As a matter of fact, I heard, who was this? I was listening to one of the young ladies, Nicki Minaj, I think, and they were having an interview and she said something about, well, I was telling her when I made my first million, I said,
My first million. Okay.
like everybody's supposed to make their first million at least. I was so tickled. I said, you know what? This mindset here, they are sharing.
But you
They
know, they stand on the shoulders
oh
of
yeah,
you.
yes, I know.
And that's why I wanted to honor you today because
Thank you.
I know that as we mature, sometimes we think that nobody's going to remember, or we think
Yes,
like we're a shining star that's fading,
yeah,
that we will not be remembered. And so it's so important that our youth of today know whose shoulders they're standing on, who broke the ground, who
right.
stood up and spoke up and dressed up and just made things happen where they couldn't always make a million like these young people today
Yeah,
are.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And you endured a lot of resistance and a lot of ceilings.
yes.
You said you raised the hair ceiling.
This
I
is
remember when I wore my first natural. Oh my
yeah,
God, it was awesome. And I remember when my father took me to see James Brown in DC where I was
yes,
born.
yes,
And that was something I'll always remember hearing him saying, I'm Black and I'm proud.
yes,
You know,
yes,
and it's like, it made me stand up a little taller, put some steel in my backbone, you know?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm going to go back and revisit Sparkle and say, that's my friend. That's my sister friend. Look, do
Oh,
you watch it
that's
often?
so
Do you
sweet.
revisit it?
That's so sweet. Sometimes, yeah. You talking about revisiting Sparkle? Or
Yeah.
yes, because I heard someone say, well, you're only as good as your last project. You don't have anything in it. I said, you know what? Who was that? Red Skelton said it's better to be a have been than a never was.
Come on, say it. I love that. But I
At
never
least,
was.
at least you've been in that
Yeah.
light. You shared
Yeah.
that light.
And do
You
you
know,
have any of the posters from the commercials you were in?
oh yes, and look, if I can move that around, can you see a little bit of my
Oh,
picture
okay.
on the
I see,
wall
I see,
there? You
I
see
see one of them up there. Yeah.
that
Okay.
I was Mrs. California. That's a picture from
Oh,
that.
you were Mrs. California?
Mrs. California,
Oh, what year was that?
1985, and first runner-up for Mrs. America, 1985. See
Wow.
that on the wall there?
Black Beauty. Black Beauty. Mm-mm-mm.
And so it's just every time I look at TV today, I mean, I've been looking at TV lately, I see all these commercials with these beautiful Black young ladies in their naturals. And I'm like, hey, I see
Okay.
myself.
Oh, that's a wonderful.
I
I'm so
see
glad that
myself.
we had.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we had the time to talk and share and
Oh, you're
and
so
put a
sweet.
spotlight on you, Miss Dwan. Put a spotlight on you because I remember the first time I met you. You came to my Red Shoe event, which was my little way of creating a stage play. It was,
Yes.
it wasn't perfect, but it was like I just had this idea to tell the story of the Wizard of Oz, and
Yes.
I remember taking a picture with you, and you were like so sassy. I'm like, I want to get to know her. Yeah, so we are joined at the hip, and I love you, and I can't wait to see you again in our Sunday INNERversity Zoom room. And
Yes.
all my best to your wonderful husband and to your grandchildren and your children. May God continue to bless you and cover you and provide for you and know that you are loved.
Thank you. Thank you. That feels, you made my whole, I'm going to be on clouds. I can walk around today no matter what. Nothing can bother me.
Well,
Nothing.
this is going to be for infinity. This will be up on YouTube and it'll be up there for infinity. Okay, so the story has been told. Thank you, God.
You're wonderful. Thank
All
you.
right, my dear.
And
Well,
I ain't
God
gonna
bless.
never give my Black back either.
Oh, you remembered? Yes, that's
I
right.
love you. That's my very favorite reading performance piece of all
Oh my
time.
gosh. Well, I'll have to do a video with that,
Thank
but
you.
I'm going to close for now and you go ahead and enjoy your day and thank you for your time. Stay in the light.
Thank you. Love you guys.